Okay. Okay, things should be good for now. Um can everyone see the screen? Like, or is it covered? Please tell me so I can like do some fixes before we properly start. Also, hello Big Pew, hello Evil Bookman, and hello A Fisher. Uh, welcome all to the stream. Yeah, that's Chloe from Life is Strange. No, don't worry. We aren't going to be watching a review of like actual Life is Strange. At least not today. Uh, fucking welcome Kodokunasu, and I guess welcome Fischl. I swear to Christ. Anyway, so if everything is visible, let's just start already. Oh, actually, no, no, no. I need to make an announcement. Due to a few like responsibilities I'll have, tomorrow, next week, right? We'll only have like guaranteed stream on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Like, and if I do like any stream on any other day, it will definitely be less than the amount of streams I did this week, and it will definitely be like an Arc Night stream. So like, just a heads up. But yeah, without further ado, let's start.
Oh god. It's getting worse. Oh my god, it escalates. You think it's just gonna stop. Is that supposed to happen? Because it's happening. Go yourself.
I've been a real negative Nelson on this channel. Not even a glass half empty kind of guy. More like a
Who drank my fucking water?
kind of guy. So I've been thinking I should put out something more positive. Maybe a detailed analysis on the brilliance of Steins Gate. Eh? Eh? It's pretty good.
嫌なの
Hell, when anime is not being pure,
Diluted sewage.
there's a lot of pretty swell stuff out there. Perhaps I could go for something non-anime related too. There are plenty of things I like, believe it or not, so I've got a veritable smorgasbord to choose from. But then I saw Deadpool. And it sucked. Well, that's not fair. The scenes with Deadpool, and I mean Deadpool, not Wade, are pretty good, but they're maybe only half of the movie.
For an origin story on Deadpool, you need a third.
Okay, so just to warn you guys, what I'm going to do is like, don't be too mad if I don't like keep pausing that thing. I think I will only pause if I have like something to say, generally something I disagree with. So please don't mind me staying like silent. Just again, another heads up.
Third. So a third looks like me, and then a third looks like the scarred version of Wade, who we affectionately say looks like Shrek took a shit on his shoulders. And then you have the masked version of Deadpool, and that is sort of the true embodiment of the character and the spirit. So
What the fuck are you doing?
Now, before I get called a pretentious hipster who's just hating on what's currently popular, please note that Zootopia has a 99% rating on Rotten Tomatoes as of recording this. And if you don't think I could have torn the movie being marketed to furries into so much giblets...
Give people that don't know like 3 steps. Give in hell perfect.
So what's made Deadpool's movie so
I still like I think he's going to make a better point later, but like I really don't get his points like in this section. He's trying to say that he isn't like a hipster, but at the same time he says that he hates like something that he acknowledges to be popular. So like I don't know, I just don't get his point in this part. And yeah, it's only going to get worse. Don't worry about it.
so popular? Well, according to Rotten Tomatoes, fast, funny, and gleefully profane, the fourth
Teasing Zootopia? What do you mean, Evil Bookman? He was teasing Zootopia. I don't get it. Anyway.
wall-busting Deadpool subverts superhero film formula with wildly entertaining and decidedly non-family friendly results. Basically, it's an inherently childish thing being aggressively marketed to adults.
I don't want to be an adult right now.
Nah, I think the important bit
God damn it. Fucking hell. God. Oh, no. He did not do a Zootopia video. Don't worry. I see a lot of unnecessary video editing and stop wanting to watch material. Let's see. One sec. Let me just try to understand what you said. I see a lot of unnecessary video editing and stop wanting to watch material. Oh, okay. So you're saying that there's a lot of video editing that you find unnecessary and that makes you want to stop watching. Honestly, like, this dude is very well known for making videos very infrequently. And that's because he always likes to do exactly what you said. He always likes to try to edit his videos as much as possible. That's why they take like an eternity to come out, you know? Lady, I don't want to be an adult either. I'm skipping school right now, so I get to watch all the stream. Oi, go study, you fucker. You can watch the like VOD later. You need to study. This look at this fucker. JK, seniors can leave early at my school. I'm keeping my fucking eye on you. Don't you dare like skip school because of strings. You hear that? I don't know. But yeah, moving on.
to focus on is this, the subversion of the superhero film formula. For the purposes of this video, I'm going to assume that this tack is what's been underpinning Deadpool's box office success. Now don't get me wrong, I'm not entirely against subversion. Some postmodernist masturbation here and there can be fun. And to be perfectly honest, I think it's sorely needed for the comic book superhero film genre. Because inserting a bunch of dudes
and a token woman
wearing spandex in our current geopolitical environment and expecting us to take it seriously, I don't get it, Marvel fans. It's not Deadpool subverting the
needless to say, that's a very, like, subjective point. Like, oh, because, like, this looks ridiculous, like, I can't take it seriously, like, this really isn't a strong point, I don't think. Like, but I don't think he was trying to make something, more objective critique here. But still, you get the point. Okay, obscure dad. I'm not even going to say anything about that.
genre that I have a gripe with. It's that, as a subversion, Deadpool does just so much of it wrong. Oh yeah? Well, what else is there, huh? Can you name even one recent example of subversion of the superhero genre done well? I'm glad I asked that, because diametric to the Deadpool movie, we have the recent One Punch Man anime adaptation. Another subversion, as it were.
Also, this man has girls getting wrapped by tentacles as his baseline cutaway image. I'll be honest, I don't know why he does that either. I think it's just like another element of edginess. It's just to be offensive to most people. I don't fucking know. Anyway, sometimes it's hard to say when he's serious or not. Fair. Yeah. And that's a thing that you can say about a lot of reviewers, honestly. I even saw like a critique of this kind of practice. Because a lot of people, a lot of YouTube reviewers especially, will not make it clear when they are like making an objective critique or a subjective one. Or when they are just making a joke, or when they are making a serious critique. And it really feels like Weasley, like they're just trying to make an excuse to not face criticism, you know? So yeah, I definitely agree with that sentiment.
Of the superhero genre that gets just about everything right. And it's also super de-duper popular right now, so you can't call me out on pretentious hipsterdom there. Ha! But is One Punch Man really a subversion? Yes it is, and I'll illustrate why. Prick. So, some middle ground. I'll take these two genre subversions, the recent Deadpool movie and the recent One Punch Man anime, and present...
And You can tell how old this video is by the fact that he refers to like the first season of One Punch Man as a recent. I really am obscure dad. Damn it. Anyway.
Present two anal cysts side by side, and I'll show you precisely how One Punch Man gets it right, while Deadpool is so far up its ass that there will be spoilers. Don't say I didn't warn you.
Subversion. I'm not fucking 5. I know what subversion is.
We have to be clear about its definition, since there are a lot of terms with similar sounding, almost interchangeable definitions. Simply put, subversion, in particular subversion of narrative, is a bait and switch. You play up an audience's expectations, and then Hideo Kojima the fuck out of them.
They played us like a damn...
Take this skit from Key and Peele. We have these two sunglass wearing, smart dressing, smooth walking hitmen walking down the street in slow motion with guns in hand. The expectation that several decades of action movies have ingrained in our brains is that something badass is about to go down. And then Peele gets hit by a piano. Basic, but effective subversion. It's subversive for the purpose of comedy too, so it can also be called parody. Mind you, parody does not always have a bait and switch, so it's not always subversive. And subversion is not always comedic, so it's not always parody.
With a lot of editing, I mean, I've seen a lot of people who do a lot of video editing to just put jokes instead of just presenting arguments. That's because most of these people are trying to make videos like the review is just a backdrop. The main point of the video is to be like entertaining, is for the purposes of like just being a fun video to watch, right? So that's why they focus more on the comedy than in the arguments. So I do understand what you mean and like why you don't like it, but like I can also see their reasoning for doing it, I think is what I mean.
Deadpool and One Punch Man are both parody, though one is quite a bit more subversive than the other. I'd be careful about throwing satire into this mix too. Satire has to do with social commentary, and while there is some of that in both Deadpool and One Punch Man, I wouldn't call it the focus for either. Great, now that we've got that out of the way.
Is a slow process, which we call either...
Is this not that Nazi guy? Oh, fucking hell. I forgot. Okay. Like, yeah, this is a very, yes, this is ER. Like, this is a very controversial and, like, very, offensive YouTuber. I should have put that disclaimer. God damn it, I have a headache right now. Forgot. The point is that, REACTSLOP, my goat is washed. He just took a bath. The point here is that, like, yeah, I know he's very controversial, and I know that he does a bunch of edgy jokes. So I should have warned people at the beginning that, like, if you don't like that, then you should probably, like, not watch this stream. Tomorrow, I'll be streaming Clinical Trial and, like, what's the name of it? Chaos Heads in the, like... how do I say it? And Chaos Head on Sunday. So if you'd prefer, like, it's better for you to participate on those streams if you don't like this kind of thing. Also, I get your point, like, Mouvelé, and, like, I get your point, and I do agree that he goes far beyond like being just edgy, especially when he like present some of like his arguments outside of like the reviews. The whole point of this is that I used to watch him quite a lot, and I used to like his videos quite a lot. And I'm just kind of revisiting that, and we're seeing like we're pretty much tackling it, seeing what I agree with, what I disagree with. That's the point. But I do understand that a lot of people aren't comfortable, and like you said, for good reason. So I'm just saying, like there will be other streams of less controversial topics, and I recommend you participating on those instead of this one. So yeah, that is the disclaimer. That like how do I say this, Movela? It's not just it's not like black and white, you know. I will be critiquing point by point. If he says something racist, like I'll call it out for being racist. If he says something like uh, for any other type of bigotry, right? I'll call it out too. And if he just makes a bad point in general, I'll call that out too. But I'll also be like praising him if he makes like any good points about like movies and storytelling and stuff like that. So this will be more of a measured critique. I will be evaluating the content and like critiquing it point by point, both in like the terms of the actual arguments in regards to storytelling as well as social topics. So this is what this stream is going to be about. Okay. He plays any more loud noises, I'm gonna crash out. I mean, like, I think he does a lot of like, how do I say this? He does a lot of loud noises to be funny. He does what people call, and I can say that because this is a adults only stream. He does a lot of ear rape, right? I think that's the name people use to it. I don't know any alternative names, so please forgive me for that. But how do I say it? Yeah, this is just part of his humor style, but I definitely agree with that it can be very annoying. Anyway. Okay. This just listening to Kanye's music kind of thing. We can recognize he's bad, but still enjoy what he made. And like, it doesn't need to be like necessarily enjoy what he made, like enjoy aspects of what he made, because there are some things that I don't like anymore, some things that I think are still interesting. Again, it's a leveled approach. That's what I'm going to do. uh I feel like there's a million YouTubers you could do this with who aren't Nazis. Like, but the whole point of this, like, is that I'm revisiting like someone I used to watch. Like, we're going to do this like in the future. To give a few spoilers, I plan to react to videos by let me pick this. Just a sec. Okay. I plan to react to videos in the future from this guy, like Rank 10 Yu-Gi-Oh! And I also plan to react to videos by a guy that you've seen in some of my like podcasts, right? A frequent um guest on my channel in Ludity. Those are the other like YouTubers I'm going to be reacting to. And like you can make that argument, and I do understand that, like, why not just react to these people instead of that guy? But I think it's interesting to tackle that content. I think it's interesting to like see what he said and like what about it is interesting, what about it is definitely not interesting. Criticize it, like do a very leveled analysis. So, like, yes, there are other people I could be reacting to, and I will, but I do think there is a value to doing what I'm doing right now as well. So that is like my point. And again, if you don't like this, again, I should have warned people in the beginning. If you don't like this, like, again, I'll be doing streams both tomorrow and after tomorrow that are going to be much more chill. Well, I say that, but the games are literally going to be like about like mental illness and like about a teenager getting like hunted by the police. But still, you uh I think you get the point, and like I'll be continuing for now. Okay, let's get to it.
Ideological subversion, or active measures.
I've never read the Deadpool comics, so none of what I'm about to say applies to the comic book Deadpool. Got that?
It's just you having the pass ban on us for getting political, and you're covering someone like this. How do I say this? Yeah, fair. That is a fair call out. Like, frankly, do you guys want me to? I don't know. I already put like the video on the thumbnail, and like I don't know. Should I stop? Yeah. Okay. No. I think Akira has a good point there. Like, this person is political, and he does have a bunch of like very awful like political opinions, but we can evaluate like his arguments about media like outside of that and criticize the things that he says like in regards to more social aspects like separately, you know but again, yeah, you do have like a point there, and like I should have thought better about this. You know what? Let's just continue, and like let's just continue. People seem to be getting tired of this. Let's just continue the reaction. I'm sorry.
Hell, I've never even read his Wikia page. I just took a screenshot and put it up here. The closest I've
Fucking asshole. To go back to less serious topics, like imagine just admitting to that. No, I never read the comics. I didn't even read the Wikia page. I just plastered it here. Like, just the sheer like lack of shame of doing something like that. Anyway,
I've come to Deadpool is his 2013 video game, and what I gleaned from that is that Deadpool is a fourth wall breaking, schizophrenic psychopath who accepts.
Oh, so am I crazy, or is it that it can still be him hating the big popular thing because Deadpool is marginally more popular than One Punch Man? No, but I think his point there is that he doesn't just hate things for being popular. Like, he likes One Punch Man, and that thing is popular, and that proves that he doesn't hate something just from like being popular. That is his point, I think. Bro, I quote powerful Morrowind memes and make up shit that can happen in the game, and I never played it. SSS tier LARPer. I just agree with Big Pew there. But there's a difference between a non-comic reader and a non-Elder Scrolls 3 player. Anyway, continuing on.
Successfully enjoys juvenile and cruel humor and cares for precious little beyond that. He's also a superhero with accelerated regeneration powers. Well, a superhero in the sense that he wears the full body superhero tights and exists in a universe alongside a bunch of other superpowered people in superhero tights. And normally you think of superheroes as moralistic vigilantes who have taken the law into their own hands and assume the responsibility of preserving justice and such like. Nope. Deadpool's just a vigilante. Subversion. And you know what? That's just fine by me. Movie Deadpool is more or less the same as video game Deadpool minus the schizophrenia. He breaks the fourth wall, he kills people for mature audiences, and he shoots off joke after edgy joke at rapid fire speed. The reason I'm not in love with Deadpool personally is that the jokes get to be a bit much. When you throw that much material out there that fast, some of it is bound to fall flat.
Yes, that's the game, and I love that game. Like, I think I already talked about this, but I absolutely love the Deadpool game. Unfortunately, I don't think there's a way. I'm going to search for it, but I don't think there's a way I could even play for the channel if I wanted to. But like, I definitely love to do so. Like, I love the Deadpool game.
Flat, or even into cringe territory. But still, I'd say I liked 75% of Deadpool's jokes and senseless violence in this movie. There's a scene early on where he takes out a bunch of baddies on a bridge, and it's pretty damn excellent. Other than the jokes recycled from the proof of concept short.
I bet you're wondering why the red suit. Well, that's so bad guys can't see me bleed. Let's hope these guys are wearing their brown pants.
You may be wondering why the red suit. Well, that's so bad guys can't see me bleed. This guy's got the right idea. He wore the brown pants.
And the one line.
God damn it. I think I talked about this like quite a lot in recent videos, but I really am not a fan of gross out humor anymore. Like, I used to find this funny, but I absolutely don't anymore. One sec. Fucking scan colors. Anyway, continuing on.
Liners made for the trailers.
I'm touching myself tonight.
Point is, I liked it. It was
Be right back. All the jokes in the movie aren't funny to me. The horror. Bro, I thought that was my phone. Sorry. But yeah, I don't think there's a point that he's making against the movie. Like, he's just mentioning that, like, his experience. But obviously, like, I don't think he's saying that, oh, just because not every joke in the movie works for me, that means the movie is bad. So, that wasn't a scan color. That was mainstream anime. Even worse.
working, and then it had to royally fuck it up, because the scene after that is a flashback. Whole flashbacks. We're gonna go over those in a bit. Anyway, in it, Deadpool's not Deadpool yet, but some mercenary punk named Wade Wilson. A psychopath with a penchant for juvenile and cruel humor, and wait a minute.
This is a different kind of superhero story. To tell it right, we gotta take you back before I squeeze this ass into spandex.
So the whole being turned into an unkillable immortal with a fractured consciousness and awareness of his reality being a total fabrication had nothing to do with making Deadpool into Deadpool? He was always a violent, hyperbolic maniac? Well, okay, but what the fuck is the point in showing me his past then? You're kinda losing me here, movie, but you know what? Could be another subversion, right? Usually in superhero movies, the setup is such that when a hero receives their powers, they then gradually transform into a bona fide hero. Only in this case, Wade will receive his superpowers, and the punchline is that Deadpool's just regular old Wade with superpowers. You'd think near invincibility and fourth wall breaking would change a man. Just a little, but hey, let's give the movie the benefit of the doubt. Now, in this flashback, Wade's terrorizing a pizza delivery man named Jeremy. Why is he doing this? Because a girl named Megan says Jeremy is stalking her, and Wade is paid to deal with scumbags like him. Only, Wade's not being paid at all, and claims he's doing it because he has soft spots. So, what you're telling me, movie, is that Wade's a white knight? Not much of an anti-hero, is he?
It's me, Deadpool.
The White Knight stuff aside, oh fucking god. Addressing just the thing, the like media criticism. I think I'll agree with him there, because like obviously Deadpool is supposed to be an anti-hero, so like he isn't supposed to be an outright villain. So I don't think he should have like what's the name of this? Like refused the girl or like collaborated with the stalker or anything like that. But it could have been more interesting to see him actually just take money, like for this to just be like a job for him. That would have contributed a lot more to the whole anti-hero persona, because this just makes Deadpool look like an outright hero. And again, if that was the like point of the movie, that'd be okay. And I know that I personally do love a good superhero story, but the whole point is that he's an anti-hero. So yeah, they definitely could have done better to demonstrate that.
Marvel anti-hero extraordinaire.
After Wade terrorizes Jeremy, he goes to a skate park to find Megan smiling and laughing with her friends like she hasn't a care in the world, which is a little weird, all things considered.
Prepare to.
Not really. This is another point I really don't agree with. Like, because let's say someone's being stalked at what place? Like, if someone's being stalked, they absolutely are going to go to a party and have fun with friends, because that's like the one spot in which they won't feel like in danger. So like this point just doesn't make sense. Like, oh, she should be terrified. Why? She's in the one place where she can feel safe in her situation. So yeah, I don't like I don't really agree with this point. This doesn't make any sense to me. Anyway, don't remember this part of the movie, but I thought that would just show that he's a guy that really just does whatever he wants. But like the point is that the movie has, like he will show later, I think, is going to advertise itself as Deadpool just being like a anti-hero, right? That's kind of the point. So showing him like doing something so outright heroic, I think kind of takes away from that. He literally was a villain. Later, like Venom, he became an anti-hero. Yeah, but you're talking about the comics. Like we're analyzing the movie like as a separate entity. Also, welcome to the stream, Genérico Jerônimo.
Die. I'm outside your house. I have a target on you.
Even better, one of her friends asks Wade to
Why are you like this, Kodokunasu? Anyway, oh yeah, Wade was a villain in one of Wolverine's movies, but he was fucked up and basically just reborn. Like we don't talk about that. We don't fucking talk about that. Also, I don't know what that was a reference to, and like I feel like I really don't want to know, because knowing this guy, it's probably like a child rapist that he's like saying that is that he's making this whole tribute joke to. Just yeah, I don't want to know. When I'm streaming, things just happen, don't they? Sorry, there's someone at my door. 1 minute. Okay. My brother is taking care of it, so I can just continue. Maybe I'm illiterate because I don't know exactly what an anti-hero is. Okay. He's an anti-hero, just not anti in the ways as other anti-heroes you may be thinking of. It used to be Spider-Man was called an anti-hero too, for lacking traditional heroic qualities. I think this calls for like a whole discussion on like what an anti-hero actually is. And in fact, there is a very good video talking exactly about that we can watch on another stream. So if you guys are interested, if like on our next REACTSLOP stream, we see see that video I'm referencing that talks more, that goes more about, like, in depth about what an anti-hero actually is. Yeah, but like stopping the stream to go to TV tropes, I think it's not a good idea. Again, we can talk about this like in a later stream. Have you ever heard of Fate Stay Night? That was one of my minions going to spy on you. I'm collecting information for our duo. God, the like adults only restriction really doesn't do fucking shit, does it? Anyway, welcome to the stream. I guess obscure anime. No, mainstream anime. Fuck, I'm obscure anime. Fuck. If Arizu is a hero, then is Kei an anti-hero? Again, this discussion's for later. Movie.
Deal with her
Video,
douche stepdad. Because hell, not like a teenage girl to be over dramatic.
Papadoo! You fucking killed my dog!
Oh my god! It was self-defense for both of us.
That doesn't make you question the validity of Megan's claim just a little bit?
Like, no, what? Like, he should certainly investigate things before enacting justice, but why wouldn't he take, like, seriously, you're the argument. You guys get the point, right? His whole argument here is just stupid. Anyway. Yeah, because YouTube, like, doesn't give a shit. Like, I literally set the string as adults only. There are no ads in here, exactly because it's adults only. And still, there's like a 16-year-old here. Because, yeah, mainstream anime is 16 years old. Because, again, YouTube systems just don't work. Amazing. Anyway, moving on.
Wade? Moviegoers? Then there's some narration from Wade where he makes it clear that he's not a hero. He says, and I quote, "I'm just a bad guy who fucks up worse guys."
The time has come to be a fucking superhero.
I think then.
And again, I'm going to agree with the point that they could have shown that, like, more examples of him being an actual bad guy. Because for now, at least, this is just lip service. Like, they say, oh, I'm a bad guy who fucks up worse guys. Like, in what way are you a bad guy? Like, you just seem like a regular hero to me. What, just because you shoot people, I'm supposed to think, like, you're all that different? Like, yeah. So I'm just going to agree with this point there. Anyway. So then, is there anything that can be done? That bad. Seem also like an excuse to shit on Life is Strange. Oh, he has a whole video shitting on Life is Strange. He doesn't need an excuse for that. Anyway. Could you block him for only this string or something like that? I don't think I have that option. I'm going to have to check. No, the 18+ thing is working just fine. Gonna gatekeep wide though. Anyway.
Insinuation the movie's trying to make is that actually he's totally a hero. He's just a little bit on the unorthodox side.
Anti-hero extraordinaire.
Wade stops by his little den of criminal associates, and the bartender guy immediately starts making snide jabs along with him.
You look like the inside of other people's assholes.
Meaning?
I thought the snide jabs were his thing. Well, whatever. And then Wade meets some too pretty prostitute, escort, who I guess is a subversion because she's not a virginal, all-around perfect wife material love interest.
A lot of fans were actually pretty invested in the idea of Natasha with actually either or both of you guys, and now obviously she's with Bruce. What do you guys make of that?
She's a slut.
Outside of just ER, this is also a point I just don't get. Like, I don't even get, like, what joke, if any, they were going for here. Like, okay, Natasha didn't go for any of them. She went for Bruce, and that makes her a slut. Like, I don't get it, man. I don't even fucking get what kind of joke they were trying to make here. If anyone can enlighten me, then please do, because this simply confuses me. Like, and another thing, like, having watched the Avengers, like, even the whole like Black Widow ending up with Hulk, right? That came out of nowhere to me because I didn't see any romantical development between her and anybody in that movie. Like, I just. Anyway. Again, killing that much is not entirely heroic. Fair. It's just misogyny, I guess, because Hulk. Yeah, like I'm just going to have to go with Muvelea's answer here because like I really can't think of a good like justification for this. This just doesn't make any sense.
I was gonna say something along that line. It's complete horror.
And then they begin exchanging witty barbs, and fuck it, I'm at a loss. What's the point of yet another wisecracking psychopath in a world of wisecracking psychopaths? Okay, maybe the prostitute isn't a psychopath, but really, are hookers all that much better? No offense, whore. So the prostitute.
Do I need to say anything? I think I don't need to say anything about that point. Let's just move on.
Prostitute and Wade fall in love in record timing. Then Wade is diagnosed with terminal cancer. And so with nothing to lose, I mean, he's dating a prostitute, not exactly living it up, he accepts an experimental treatment from some dude named Fran.
And to move along, like, again, there are some things that I just don't need to call out, right? Like, if I call out every single fucking thing this guy does, we're going to be here all day. Like, I think we should all be able to see, like, the problem with this, so we'll move on.
To cure him. It instead gives him accelerated regeneration in the likeness of Freddy Krueger. Wade dresses up like Deathstroke, even though he's not a superhero, doesn't want to be one, and isn't in denial about not being one despite living in a universe that openly flaunts superheroes. What the fuck? And he spends the rest of the movie hunting down Francis, who kidnaps the whore for some reason that I'm not really sure about. It's not the smartest move, in fact it's downright idiotic, but maybe that's a subversion of the smart supervillain? But
to make our critiques, like, better, does anyone remember that movie enough to know why, like, the villain kidnapped Deadpool's girlfriend? Because I also don't remember, because I watched this, like, a fucking decade ago, at this point. Or almost that, I think. So if anyone can remember the exact reason why the villain kidnapped Deadpool's girlfriend, please sound off in the comments.
But they all do this stupid shit. Maybe it's to subvert the damsel in distress trope? Somehow? Nope.
Played a lot of roles. Damsel in distress ain't one of them. Played a lot of roles. Damsel in distress ain't one of them.
Not very progressive shit, lord.
And she's a strong female character and really.
What separates Deadpool?
There's also a thing I just hate when, like, Hollywood people do, because they are so fucking, like, obsessed with seeming like, they seem so obsessed with being seen as, like, good people, right? That they will go on this whole thing of, like, either breaking their backs to take out, what's the name? Damsels in distress or like other problematic tropes from their stories, or the even worse version. Yes, this video is 10 years old. Or the even worse version, they'll do what they do here. They will actively put just a damsel in distress in their movie, but say no. We didn't put like a damsel in distress. She's totally a strong female character, guys. Like, just so fucking annoying. I really hate when like Hollywood people do that.
From his backdrop. It's not his cavalier attitude, it's not his humor, it's not his powers, it's not his psychopathy.
I love how the villain of this movie, to again go back to a less serious topic, like his power is that he is impervious to pain. No, I'm sorry, that's not a superpower. You just have a like physical condition, my dude. Like that is not a superpower. That's an actual like condition that a lot of people have, and that actually results in some pretty like awful consequences. Like the fact that they try to pass it off as a superpower is just it's just so stupid. Anyway,
Is there anything that makes Deadpool stand out other than his shapely buttocks? He does have his fourth wall breaking, but no part of the plot is reliant on it at all. It's the writers going, LOL look, we're parodying comic book movies, and having Deadpool wink unapologetically at the camera.
And please don't make the super suit green. Or animated.
Wow. I know, right?
You know what would have been cool? If Deadpool had used the fourth.
Well, that and being immortal. So he doesn't age? Is that like his superpower? He's like an elf? That's the point? Because otherwise, I just don't get what you mean.
Wall to his advantage, maybe by shoving the camera in a goon's face or rewinding the movie to give his past self an edge. But no, Deadpool doesn't use the fourth wall. He'll talk to it, he'll nudge it, he'll acknowledge he's in a stupid comic book movie, but that's it. When you get down to it, he's just narrating, which tons of movies have their protagonists do already. For example,
who am I? You sure you want to know? The story of my life is not for the faint of heart. If somebody said it was a happy little tale, if somebody told you I was just your average, ordinary guy, not a care in the world, somebody lied.
Maybe Deadpool stands out.
No, Muvele, I'm talking about the villain. I'm talking about Francis and his superpowers. Like, I'm not talking about Deadpool.
With his comedic apathy. Because, as Ryan Reynolds says,
he takes nothing seriously.
Man, are you serial?
Which is fine, because I'm about to praise One Punch Man Saitama for being quite similar. Except Deadpool's about Deadpool tirelessly hunting down this Francis guy to get his whore and pretty face back. So he's taking things kind of seriously. So which is it? Does Deadpool want to inefficiently accomplish his goals as a goofy goober, yeah? Or does he not actually give a shit about his goals that consume him to the point of becoming Deadpool?
I didn't ask to be super, and I'm no hero. But when you find out your worst enemy is after your best girl, the time has come to be a fuck.
And if Deadpool doesn't...
I don't know what you think about this point, like, in general. So let's go over thing by thing. The whole thing of him, like, not taking anything seriously, like, I'm going to have to ask you guys, like, what do you guys think? Because should Deadpool not have cared about things like his cancer or his girlfriend getting kidnapped in order to add to his character? Or do you feel like the more measured approach of the movie where he's like generally nonchalant, but there are like certain things that he does care about? Like, do you think that that's better? I'm kind of torn on that point. But on the point of the fourth wall breaking, I again am going to agree with him here. Because in every other like Deadpool type media, he literally uses the fourth wall break to like his advantage, you know? Like, for example, in Marvel vs. Capcom 3, right? His super is that he literally takes the super bar and uses it as a baton to like whack enemies. Like, they didn't need to go like that far with the fourth wall breaking. But I would have liked more creative uses, like those present in other Deadpool media, like the comics, the games, etc. Having motivation is pretty key to being a compelling character. Fair, fair. The movie did it right. Okay, so seems like most people agree that a more measured approach was better in this case. Who did you main in Marvel vs. Capcom 3? I didn't play that game enough to main anyone like Big Pew. The only reason I bought that game was because like Morrigan was in it. That's literally the only reason.
Really give a shit. Why doesn't he give a shit? Has his life as a mercenary taken its toll on him? Because neither the cancer nor the facial scarring seem to noticeably affect his personality or mannerisms, but they give him the drive and ambition to gun for Francis? Huh? It's like
cool for that game, but I feel like you could get into the problem of why doesn't he just like freeze time with an aside so he can escape here? Yeah, fair. Like, they already limit his regeneration powers a lot to... And this is something that happens with superhero movies, like, in general. They generally limit the superhero's powers in order to avoid like difficult questions like these, you know? So then restricting not just his regeneration, but like fourth wall breaking in order to not literally, well, break the movie. Like, yeah, I think I will agree that this was a good choice. Fair, fair.
It's like they've taken a recurring character from some parody skit and given him his own movie, and lo and behold, it turns out to be a painfully overextended parody skit. You're looking.
Nah. I'm going to totally disagree with him here. Like, nowadays, I don't think I'd enjoy it just because I don't like gross out humor anymore, but MacGruber used to be like one of my favorite movies, like fucking.
Into this too much, man. Just sit back and enjoy the movie for what it is. Well, what is it? Is it really a subversion in the first place? Is a basic origin story followed by saving the girl from a mortal enemy subverting superhero film formula? Is a character who regularly cracks sarcastic and crude jokes subverting superhero protagonists? Is R-rated over-the-top violence subverting PG-13 over-the-top violence? Guys, I hate to say it, but you were just hoodwinked into watching 2008's The Incredible Hulk. Don't believe me? Just watch. In Deadpool, a new backstory is established where Wade Wilson becomes Deadpool as an unwitting pawn in a not the military scheme to reinvigorate the super soldier program through some fucking serum. On the run, at a moderate pace, he attempts to cure himself of unbangability before he is captured by Colossus, but his worst fears are realized when power-hungry twat Francis is a similar but better looking creature.
It's a little bit more complicated than that.
Okay, honestly, you can do this with almost any story, so it doesn't prove anything. You might have noticed the synopsis doesn't even mention the whore, but that's because she's about as relevant to the plot as this chick was in The Incredible Hulk.
I don't want to
get... like, wasn't the whole point that, like, Hulk's girlfriend was supposed to be his tie to his humanity? Like, at several points of the movie, they show that the only reason the Hulk, like Bruce Banner, manages to be, like, as controlled as he is, like, is exactly because, like, of his girlfriend. It's exactly because of her that he wants to, like, she's his main reason to want to get rid of the Hulk. She is his main tie to humanity, and like, main reason he comes back from being the Hulk, like, most of the time. So, like, I really just don't agree with this at all. But anyway. Also, I have something cool to, again, to come back to, like, less serious point. When we, like, when the scene ends, I'm going to, like, talk about something interesting.
give this geeky franchise its greasy fans and its sexist premise any more of my precious time.
So the big question I have...
Okay, so, okay, a funny story. So there was this experiment that Instagram girls were trying to, like, make to where they would say a bunch of, like, misandrous shit, but they would have like, boob window, right, in the video. And the whole point was to prove that guys, like, don't care about what a woman is saying, like, if their boobs are out. And, like, this worked with a lot of people, unfortunately. Like, even my brother, like, was exactly showing me a video just because he wanted me to see the girl's boobs, like, without even paying attention to what she was saying. But, like, I was so mad at all the misandrous shit that the girl was spewing that I didn't even notice that she had boobs. To be honest, like, I began commenting to my brother, no, this girl is wrong, like, how can she say something like that? Like, doesn't she understand that you can't just generalize an entire, like, sex, like, this and get away with it? This is completely wrong. And then my brother just had to stop me, being like, dude, I like, the whole point... No, sorry. Like, my... my brother had to stop me, like, dude, I just wanted to show you some boobs. And then I was like, oh, what boobs? Oh my god, they're gigantic. Like, I literally only noticed that the girl even had any boobs after the fact because I was so mad at the misandry. Anyway. I mean, it failed because the whole point was that I was supposed to be too distracted by boobs to even notice the misandry, which did not happen. So it definitely failed on me. Anyway. Well, obviously, comic characters are overtuned by basically years of fanfic tier writers. Fair. Do you guys think he likes the fem-C in this movie? I can't tell. I think he likes her. I don't know. What the fuck was that? Point proven. Wow. Is your brother mainstream gooning? I'm not going to talk about that. Man, okay. Yeah, let's move on. But like, the misandry was rage bait. Like, at this point, like, we can argue all day about like this whole trend. So let's just continue with the video. I don't want to like just keep like at the beginning with that conversation. I don't want to keep just pausing things for like 20 minutes like without watching anything. There's still supposed to be a reaction.
I have to reiterate is this. Is Deadpool really a subversion? The answer, I think, is yes. It is, as a matter of fact. Just poorly done. It's your typical superhero film setup with typical superhero tropes, but the amped up vulgarity makes it different from your usual fare. This has the potential to subvert expectations, but Deadpool is essentially the Marvel equivalent of an edgy Sonic the Hedgehog OC character, and because he's written slightly better than a 13-year-old can manage, audiences will eat him up. It's lazy. It's not clever. It's not praiseworthy, but it's extremely marketable.
When you have a character.
So, like, what you're saying is that he takes a silly concept and then executes it competently. Like, what's the criticism here? Like, who cares if the concept is silly if it's executed well? Like, throughout the rest of the video, he tries to show that the concept isn't executed well, and that is fair, but this point specifically, if I'm understanding this correctly, isn't. Like, yeah, the concept is silly. Who gives a shit? Anyway.
That breaks the fourth wall and addresses the audience directly. The possibilities for a film are obviously limitless, but so is the marketing.
To illustrate fully how,
and boy was there a lot of marketing. Like, if you were there for it, like, I think anyone who was there to experience it will remember they had a lot of like Deadpool ads, and they really went like above and beyond with them. Like, that was a good point in time to live through.
Deadpool gets it wrong, I have to show you how it's done right. And this is where One Punch Man comes in. One Punch Man is a Japanese webcomic made into a manga made into an anime. I'll be discussing only the anime adaptation.
I hate the silly concept that was executed well. Persist to rave about One Punch Man, a story that was born from a 100% serious concept. And there's a story about that too. Like, my dad, I tried to show him One Punch Man, and on the first episode, he was just like obscure anime. This is silly. Like, a guy that can like kill all his enemies in one punch. Like, why would I watch that anime? That sounds boring as hell. But then after a while, like, he decided to give episode 2 a chance, and then he was hooked. Like, he's been a fan of One Punch Man like ever since. So yeah, just a funny story I wanted to share about that.
Just as I've only discussed the film adaptation of Deadpool and not his comic series. One Punch Man is about a guy named Saitama, who is a hero, but not because of any higher calling. He considers it only a hobby. He doesn't call himself One Punch Man, or even have a superhero name picked out for himself. In his world, he's a completely average nobody, but in actuality, he's the most powerful being in existence. So powerful, in fact, that he can't help but take out monsters and the like in a single punch, and he can't stand it. And how did Saitama even get his power?
腕立て伏せ100回上体起こし100回スクワット100回そしてランニング10キロこれを毎日やる
through minimal effort.
Fucking minimal effort, my fucking ass. Do you guys know how many like people the singular line like inspired to exercise? I saw a dude that went from like 200 kilograms to 80 because of that singular fucking line. Fucking minimal effort, my fucking ass.
Well, actually, this is a subversion of Japanese tropes, because if you haven't noticed, there are very few mainstream Western superheroes who've developed their powers through hard, unrelenting work. They just got them through some freak accident, or were given
minimal effort for the sheer power he got. Okay, fair. Yeah, my friend did that and he's thin as fuck. To be... whatever. If you do it for real, you will go from slob to god. Yeah, a lot of people like build like their bodies a lot just because of that line. I have an obvious question. Why is he treating like subversion like it's praiseworthy in and of itself? I don't think he's doing that. Like, I think he's just comparing like what he thinks is bad subversion and what he thinks is good subversion. He isn't saying that subversion itself is good. He's just saying that One Punch Man subversion, in his opinion, is better than Deadpool subversion. That's the point.
some serum, or were born with them, or they were the fucking chosen one. God damn, we take escapism way too far over here that we can't even let our fictional heroes work for it.
You're damn right.
But anyway, Saitama is the exact opposite of a lot of Japanese Super Sentai and shonen characters. Unlike protagonists such as Goku, Saitama never needs to evolve his power level or abilities, and he will never face an opponent who poses a threat to himself. And unlike a Western superhero like Spider-Man, his great power comes with so little responsibility it's laughable. Saitama can be said to be the closest to Superman, where he has all the power he could ever need. The big difference being, however, that he has no weaknesses whatsoever. There is no kryptonite for One Punch Man. In a way, Saitama is also like a 13-year-old's own character Do Not Steal, one that nobody can beat because his smarmy creator said so.
My robot hits yours with swarmers! I counter with the wave pulse! I'm not playing with you anymore!
But
we all caught the MAGA text, Moverlayer. Like, what part of... We discussed this at the beginning. Like, dude is very political, just like you said. And like he makes a lot of edgy jokes and bigoted points. Like this isn't anything we should be surprised by at this point. Like let's be real, we already went through this. I don't think I need to address every single thing.
Unlike Deadpool, this is the joke. One Punch Man is well aware of what Saitama is. He ain't there to crack jokes about which X-Men timeline he's in or to try to punch other heroes in their titanium balls.
Again, but it's so fucking obvious. Like, what am I going to say? Oh, like the MAGA text. Like, yeah, the rogue scholar in me be like, what did MAGA mean at the time of the video? Like, again, there's MAGA text. Like, what am I supposed to say? Just, anyway. I'm not surprised, just it's tiring and stuff. Okay, that's more fair. But, again, we're moving on.
Well, not intentionally. He's there as a parody of the unbeatable superhero, whose very existence trivializes the existence of other heroes and the monsters they fight. Better yet, One Punch Man goes out of its way to distinguish Saitama from the rest of its cast. His entire design, even, is predicated on this. It comes across a little better in the adapted manga, but it's clear to see here that Saitama's design is overly simplified and deliberately lacking detail. When he's not about to wreck your shit, that is. Also,
yes, he does believe that, but again, there is no, like, again, what can I say? Like, am I supposed to just address MAGA? Am I supposed to just turn this whole thing into a stream discussing politics? Like, again, there are some points that isn't worth like discussing, especially in a stream like this. Like, yeah, he's MAGA, okay? Like, we don't need to address all of the MAGA movement to discuss him making a 5 second reference. You know, that is my point. Like, I understand what you're saying, but like, we don't need to go in depth into everything.
Also add to the fact that he's bald and the only character to wear a cape, combined with the goofy coveralls. One Punch Man's cast is incredibly varied, but even among them, Saitama stands out as unmistakably different from the rest, unlike Deadpool. Saitama's character and personality, too, is separate from his surroundings. He is a man who embodies an
You know what? I'm getting tired of this. Like, okay. Let's just continue. I'm not going any more of this. We'll just continue and like try to
an existential crisis. As a kid, Saitama wanted to be a hero, basically just to take out opponents in a single punch. But when he gets exactly what he wished for as an adult, it drives him to mind-crippling apathy. What's the point of taking out bad guys if all it takes is a single punch? How boring is that? One Punch Man illustrates Saitama's dilemma pretty perfectly throughout the first episode in scenes like when a giant mutant flattens everything outside of a supermarket he's in, but his shoppers are
also, spoilers, I'm probably not going to be talking much during the One Punch Man sections because I just agree that One Punch Man is great. So, yeah, these sections are probably going to be mostly silent.
Fleeing in panic over the monster's tremors, Saitama barely even notices because he's more concerned with giving the cashier exact change. Or when Saitama is walking home and a car monster pops up and crushes the eggs he just bought. Eggs over rice will have to do. Killing monsters has become as mundane and routine as everyday errands. There's just nothing to get him pumped up anymore. And despite his effectiveness, Saitama notes that the evils of the world show no signs of stopping either. Nothing he does seems to make an impact, and as a result, Saitama has become mostly detached from his emotions. In exchange for power, maybe I've lost something that's essential for a human being? He asks himself. There is no one with Saitama's personality, no one who suffers as he does, and no one with the power he has. He is terminally an outlier. What he does share with other characters is one thing: the desire to be a hero. The others may have slightly different reasons as
new video title, is Deadpool Subversion Slop? No, I feel like this is too clickbaity, even for me. But like, he brings up a point that's interesting to address. Like, I think he'll talk more about this later, but I think he does have a good point here in that could you accelerate this part later on? Like, but because I have something to address here. But yeah, basically, I think he has a good point here because, yeah, like, the whole point is to have a character that kind of stands out from his surroundings. Like, if Deadpool is supposed to be like an anti-hero that stands out in this world of like proper superheroes, like, he should stand out more, just like One Punch Man does. Like, yeah, he kills people, right? Which no other superhero does. At least not in canon. Like, in reality, they should be killing like tens of thousands of people with the sheer destruction they cause. But that's another point. And like, Deadpool just doesn't do that. Like, aside from just killing people, especially in his movie, there are so many people that like crack jokes in the same style as in. Like, even like do a back and forth. And there are so many characters in Marvel in general that just want every single one of them just wants to be the funny man, right? That it makes Deadpool not really stand out that much outside from, again, the mindless killing, you know? So, yeah, I definitely agree that Deadpool, they should have made Deadpool stand out more. Because as the movie stands, the character that does stand out more is actually like Colossus. Like Colosso, right? Because like, while everyone is cracking jokes and like being very much disruptive and like subverting like superhero expectations. Like Colosso is literally just a guy, like a genuinely great guy trying to do good, you know. So ironically, Colosso stands out a lot more than Deadpool in his own movie, and like I think that's a genuine point against it, you know. But yeah, Generico Geronimo makes a good point, especially like that. Uh, so that the stream can like not take so much time. So we're going to be speeding up by 1.5. Okay, at least until like doing the One Punch Man sections.
As to why they want to be heroes, whether for power, status, or being a total G, but the desire is rampant throughout the show. Yet even here, Saitama is different. He's only a hero as a hobby, and it's a hobby he's bored of. I mean, he dumps a monster on top of a city, crushing it, and leaves to buy eggs. Hell, there's even an episode where the bad guys are a bunch of Bernie Sanders supporters, and Saitama lets their leader get off free because he feels they're alike and that he could have easily ended up as a jobless NEET himself. Yet despite all of this, everyone who learns of Saitama's true overpowered nature practically idolizes him. Genos, a cyborg arguably much more human than Saitama, worships the ground Saitama walks on. Bang, a wizened martial arts master and one of the most powerful men alive, realizes almost immediately that Saitama outranks him enough that he can't even begin to compare. You could argue that they only respect him for his overwhelming power, but remember, the joke here is that he only got that power through minimal effort. Saitama's a decent guy, but he's no Moomin Rider. Saitama is nobody to look up to as a person, but subversively, several powerful characters end up looking up to him as the hero. Overall, Saitama works because he is just broken and doesn't belong. This is good parody. You need an outsider constantly poking at the absurdities of what is otherwise considered normalcy. Exaggeration for comical effect is only as good as its backdrop. If everything is exaggerated, nothing is. But if only a handful of things are exaggerated relative to others, those things stand out all the more brilliantly. On the other end of the spectrum, Deadpool's exaggeration is mostly superficial, but it's present almost everywhere. Deadpool doesn't stand out from the rest. Everybody's a snarky wisecracker like he is, except Colossus. The heroes all dress up in ridiculous spandex outfits like Deadpool does, and they're all as competent.
This stream was a mistake. Like, you know what? As much as yeah, Muvalair was right. Like, we're going to go through with this just because, like, I started it, so might as well finish it, right? But in the future, I don't think I'll be reacting to anyone that even makes political jokes because like it's not worth it. Like let's be real, like the stream is just derailing. There are so many people like saying stuff I can't even address because like it would just create a whole lot of fucking discussions that don't belong. Like we aren't doing this again. Like next REACTSLOP stream is going to be on like Inludity or something like that. Like, I'm not doing something similar to this again. I'm sorry to say.
As Deadpool, since the bad guys are mostly cannon fodder with useless guns. The writers even go out of their way to make sure Deadpool is not the most apathetic character in the lineup, but with Negasonic Teenage Warhead's moodiness.
Oh no, finish your tweet. So, that's fine, just give us a second.
He breaks the fourth wall, sure, which no other character does, but again, it's only to narrate. Even Saitama will do that. In terms of outliers, it's actually
no, but look at this. Like, Evil Bookman with the, like, burn joke. Like... It just creates, like, various... It just gives space to a lot of discussion that I feel, like... doesn't belong. I don't know, man. Like, if you guys really want to, we can do it, but, like, I really don't feel like it, honestly. But again, we're going to finish this just because I started it.
Colossus who stands out the most in Deadpool, and surprise, surprise, he was instantly my favorite character. Noble and heroic in a setting boiling over with superpowered psychos, he even looked and sounded different from the rest. His interactions with Deadpool are the best the movie has to offer too, because they're just so damn different and funny. If the whole movie had been about their dynamic a la Tiger and Bunny, well, you wouldn't be hearing a peep out of me right now because I probably love this movie and would have nothing to whine incessantly about. But no, Deadpool was never looking to subvert expectations that intelligently. I just want to mention, the violence in One Punch Man? Way more gory than anything we see in Deadpool. It's not subversively violent either. This is just Japs being Japs. Fucking yellow freaks.
Yeah, let's just move on. Like, I could address that joke at the end there, but like I'll be real. This is like nowhere near the most racist joke this guy makes. So it just be like me repeating myself. Like I don't like you guys get it, right? Let's just go.
Origin stories.
Deadpool is an origin story through and through. This is unfortunate because origin stories suck and shouldn't be a thing. You know why? Because they're not real stories. That's why they have to tack origin onto it, to trick you into thinking they are. But deep down, we all know they're a framing device separating us from the real deal, like the chocolate wafers to an Oreo.
No more Oreos.
So why are origin stories a thing? 2 words. Emotional high. Because the main plot of the movie ain't enough to keep these oversized children in their seats. Well, you've got to throw in some prior tragedy. In the case of, say, Spider-Man, the movies, it's by killing Uncle Ben and laying some of the blame on Peter. The main plot is never about Uncle Ben or Peter's relationship with him or even getting revenge for Uncle Ben. It's just a stepping stone in the main storyline, which is about beating up some mutated green guy who wants to kill Spider-Man really, really badly for no
Oh yes, let's skip over the part that like Uncle Ben dying is literally like the entire reason why Spider-Man is Spider-Man in the first place. Like before Uncle Ben dying and he like realized the whole like with great power comes great responsibility. Like he was literally just a teenager like abusing his powers for his own benefit. He only becomes a hero because of Uncle Ben dying. So like I don't think I need to say again anything else. You guys get why this is a bad point, right? Like, oh no, we don't need to hear like Spider-Man stories. No, like backstory. No. Please don't show us why he's even a hero in the like first place. Just anyway.
especially concrete reason. Every time
Again, and it's not like just about showing how he got his powers. This is the entire foundation of like his character, like why he is not just a teenager with superpowers. Like the only reason he is actually Spider-Man is because of Uncle Ben. So yeah, I just don't agree with this fucking point. Okay. Don't tell the modern Spider-Man writers that, they wouldn't believe you. You do make a good point too, Generico Geronimo. Like, we really need to get rid of these fucking, like, fanfic tier writers that are infecting comic books. Like, so many comic books are made so much shittier because, like, they allow so many fucking stupid writers to go there and fuck up like what are actually great characters and turn them into like outright Mary Sues, and it's just so fucking god. You get my point, right? If you want to see like exactly not the movie is actually good, but if you want to see exactly what I'm talking about when I say like modern writers fucking up comic book stories, go read like Batman vs Cthulhu. That thing just sucks. Anyway. No, don't give me well-written protagonists. I hate my steak being too juicy. I hate my lobster being too buttery. The grass is too green. Give me Lord and Myler. Give me the good Miles.
time they reboot Spider-Man, they include the Uncle Ben origin story, even though everyone's in their theater seats already perversely anticipating his death.
Stay back, Uncle! Oh, yes, Daddy!
Why do they do this? Because Spider-Man's really fucking boring without it. Sans that,
Spider-Man is not Spider-Man without it.
He's got no reason to do anything. He has no higher goals except maybe to bang Mary Jane or Gwen Stacy or whomever the fuck. He doesn't give 2 shits about the Green Goblin in the Sam Raimi films. He doesn't put a whole lot of effort into finding his parents' killers in the Amazing Spider-Man films. There's just no emotional investment. Unless you set aside a handful of scenes to kill a loved one. Because then it's personal. Because then there's an emotional high to disguise that lack of emotional investment in the main story.
Again, I want to avoid like just repeating my point. So I will. This whole thing is just going to be me saying like this is not an emotional high. This is important for Spider-Man's fucking development. Like, this is what makes Spider-Man Spider-Man. Like, I'm just going to keep repeating that, so we'll move on. Like, every time he brings up this stupid point, like, apply this criticism to it.
Marvel is a terrible offender of this. By the time we got to the Avengers, the heroes were all left hanging around with nothing to do. Iron Man didn't give a shit anymore about the proliferation of weapons, like what drove him in his origin story. Thor only mentioned something in passing about Natalie Portman, who was his focus.
Wasn't that because, like, the whole point is that he stopped that? Like, he literally, at the beginning of the movie, dissolves, like, the weapons division of Stark Industries. Like, it's not that the point isn't addressed anymore, it's that the point the point is done. Like, that like, plot point ended, you know? Like, it's not that they don't address it anymore, it's just done. They don't need to keep rehashing this. It doesn't need to be a problem for, like, the character's whole story, you know? Some plot points can end.
Because in his origin story, Captain America didn't have any more Nazis to defeat, and his love interest was probably in an old folks' home, and nobody cares about the Hulk.
Hulk crushed.
These heroes' stories just didn't matter anymore, but they certainly...
Fuck. Hydra's still a thing. What do you mean? Fucking, like, Captain America doesn't have any more Nazis to fight. He has a whole movie about fighting exactly the same organization. That ugh. He does bring up some good points, like, but really, like, those movies were to establish those characters. Like, yeah, Hulk's overall story doesn't matter too much in the Avengers, but it matters in his movies, in his personal movies. Like, those were stories to introduce the characters and kind of tell us who they are. Like, it's not... They don't need to be, like, important perpetually through all the movies, you know? Anyway. So, yeah, even in what I was going to call, like, his good points is just no. It's not a fucking good point. Not at all. Anyway.
Certainly made these characters...
Is he a troll? No, he's just stupid. Like, he isn't trolling with any of these points. He just genuinely believes that. So, no, he isn't just saying that to rage bait. He actually believes, like, a lot of his points about writing that he makes. So, yeah. Just addressing that. Let me see. Some may call this writing. Ooh, what an amazing concept, right? Did Arma write this video? Good one, Big Pew. Good one. A dude is basically a modern movie watcher. He needs to be spoon-fed constant exposition. Man, your goat is dishwashed? Apparently so. Like, Jesus Christ. I really didn't an insult to Arma. You know what? Fair. Because, like, at least Arma, like, didn't make jokes that were this awful, you know? Like, his points were equally as bad, but at least the jokes weren't. Anyway. But, yeah. This is what happens when you grow up on cinema sins. Anyway. Recent Spider-Man comic be like, MJ is Venom and is cucking Spider-Man with Flash Thompson while he is in space. Is it any wonder why, like, manga's taking over? Anyway.
Seem deeper and more three-dimensional than they would be otherwise. And this was, of course, Marvel's plan all along. They draw you in with a little bit of emotional investment, and then they completely abandon it for a blockbuster spectacle, and then introduce...
Okay, again, just be repeating my points. Let's just continue.
Some more investment and then abandon it for a blockbuster spectacle. Ad infinitum. Congrats, Marvel. You figured it out. Deadpool is more of the same, only it's done in conjunction with 20th Century Fox. They're drawing you in now, but the plot elements of this movie will be all but gone by the sequel. I guarantee it. Francis, or Ajax, will
Yes, because they'll be resolved, you stupid...
be meaningless in the grand scheme of things. Deadpool will be completely over his unbangability. Wade's cancer's never being brought up again, except maybe as a one-liner or two. So honestly, his past
I love that, like, his cancer is literally, like, one of the most important plot points, like, in the second movie, so he's just wrong. Like, literally, they show that the dude can't be, like, even a full day without his superpowers, because without them, he just begins to die. Because, guess what? The cancer is still important. But anyway.
Never needed to be shown or told. It doesn't inform us of anything significant enough to carry a larger narrative. I know nearly as much about Deadpool now as when he jumped off a bridge to murder a bunch of mercenaries at the start, but now I know it's because he wanted his boyish good looks restored. You could have flashed that crew.
No, now you know, like, who the villain is, why Deadpool hates him, like, what he's trying to achieve. Like, you just wouldn't get all his objectives. Like, the whole point of this is to, like, give you a reason to care, you know, to make you understand, like, why he's trying to achieve certain things. Like, why is he going after this dude? Like, why is his face like that, and why does he care? Like, this whole point is, like, meaningless, because, like, the reason they tell us these things is because they are trying to lead to payoffs. They are trying to make it so you understand, like, who Deadpool is as a character, and then care about the things that are happening to him. It's just, anyway. People who complain about comics performing worse than manga should read more than superhero comics. Fair. Anyway.
Kruger face at us for 5 fucking seconds, and I would have caught your drift, movie. Real quick, let's go over One Punch Man's origin story, which, by the way, lasts under 5 minutes. 3 years prior to the show's timeline, Saitama was just a young man looking for work and having a rough time of it. In his area, there's a monster menacing the city folk, a giant half-crab man.
Again, Generico, we are, like, addressing the movie right now. Like, this is stuff that's interesting to, like, talk about in relation to the comic, but it is really, like, not too important to the overall discussion. Again, cool facts, but they don't influence much.
Man in his tidy whities named Crablante. How did this malformed atrocity of man and crab come to be? Some guy ate too much crab.
Mr. President of the Bullies Club, I command you to leave. This guy is too mean to mess with.
When Saitama runs across Crablante, he doesn't run away in fear. Why should he? He can't find neither a job nor a reason to live. Crablante even makes a point to call out Saitama's lifeless eyes, just like his, which is why he spares him, saying he
lifeless, lol, lamau. Anyway.
Already has a target, some big chin brat who drew nipples on him with permanent marker and the fucker can't wipe it off because he has claws for hands. Fast forward and Saitama coincidentally runs across that big chinned brat, who's got a fucking ball sack on the end of his face. The kid's so uncute that Saitama contemplates just walking away, but he saves him by—
Yeah, I know, but you were talking about his regeneration thing. Again, I'm not saying you can't comment these things. Like, obviously there are fun facts, but I'm just saying that it isn't relevant to the overall discussion. Like, yeah, it's a cool fun fact, and if you want to comment that, obviously you can. I think it's just fun, but it doesn't contribute to the discussion. That's kind of my point.
By impulse when Crablante shows up out of nowhere. In a clever use of fourth wall breaking, Saitama laughs at Crablante's ensuing monologue because he reminds him of a villain from an anime he used to watch. Saitama doesn't then turn to the screen and shoot finger guns though. Instead, an infuriated Crablante brutally whips him across the playground for his impudence. Saitama—
He doesn't, because that's not the point of his character. Like, Saitama isn't a fourth wall breaker. The reason, like, why he doesn't and Deadpool does is because, like, the two characters are trying to do different things. Like, fourth wall breaking is Deadpool's whole thing, while Saitama is, like, just a one-off. Like, whatever. Anyway.
Saitama gets back up. There are a few great lines about how he can't let the boy die because of declining birth rates, and how he never wanted to be a salaryman, but a hero. He gets roughed up a bit, and then he kills Crablante by ripping out his internal organs through his eye socket with his tie. Deadpool's gore's got nothing on this. We flash forward again with—
There's also an interesting point to bring up about One Punch Man. Like, no way this dude was just a normal person, like, before he started training. Like, no regular salaryman is doing that, okay? Like, he clearly had at least some powers, like, even before, like, his exercise routine. Like he's stronger and way more resilient than any normal human is. Okay, but so yeah, that's the point.
With Saitama breaking the fourth wall, narrating, that he trained so hard from that day on, he gained all the power and lost all his hair. So remember, One Punch Man achieves in under 5 minutes from a 12-episode TV show what Deadpool takes about an hour to fail to do in a movie. Saitama's flashback informs us of who Saitama was, a man despairing his own powerlessness to the man he became, a man despairing how overpowered he is. One Punch
This is kind of a good point in relation to like efficiency. Because yeah, if a 12-episode anime can like do what you took an hour to do in 5 minutes, especially if you're a movie, then yeah, the anime definitely did it better. But like that doesn't really mean that Deadpool is bad. Like it just means that One Punch Man is awesome. Like it's again like comparing like silver to platinum. Like sure, platinum is better, but like that doesn't mean silver isn't valuable. Like suddenly not valuable, you know. So yeah, this is kind of a good point.
Man even has several scenes devoted to mocking origin stories, the most prominent of which being when the cyborg Genos exposits his tragic past to an increasingly frustrated Saitama, and it all culminates in Saitama losing his cool and shouting that Genos shut up and limit his descriptions to 20 words or less. Genos' verbosity and Saitama's outbursts are funny because we get that frustration. We're so damn used to being given these exhaustively detailed backstories for characters that last so long, the main story is essentially on pause until they're finished. A story that requires a pause button can't be all that exciting, can it? But because they've become such a fixture in so much storytelling, we endure it. So when a character like
Not really. Like One Punch Man's point is more about like exposition. Like it's more about like show don't tell. It's not necessarily about origin stories. But anyway.
Genos launches into his comically emphatic backstory, and Saitama eventually snaps, well, it's funny because it's true. And One Punch Man is true to its word. Backstories are brief and to the point, and Saitama and Best Girl Genos make damn sure of it. This is smart. Less is usually more, and more importantly, it's not too much. Deadpool, on the other hand, does the opposite and gives us mostly backstory, simultaneously destroying any mystique the character of Deadpool had. After the terrific scene on the bridge, we have to put the movie on pause because, didn't you know, Deadpool has superpowers?
Okay. Holy shit, why does he love glazing One Punch Man so bad? I mean, it is a great anime, so I don't blame him. Anyway, yeah, I know, but okay. I believe it's because superpowers in One Punch Man come from magic, so it wasn't that he already had superpowers, it was that the powers were granted to him after he started showing where his will was. There's more to it than that, but yeah, gonna have to read up on that. Okay, now because Saitama lore is not important. What he does is like it's not important to what he does. That's why he can be short. While Deadpool's entire point is talking about from where he came to like where he is. This feels like that one guy I know that has only watched JoJo and tries to convince me that it's 10 times better than sex. I do blame him. Most things are better than sex, to be frank. Didn't you say you were like an ace? Like yeah, to you, most things are better than sex, but like I think to most people like that's not true, you know? So yeah, it's more of a your perspective kind of thing in that regard.
And you really need to know how he got them in painfully drawn out detail.
It's so boring!
Deadpool has a girlfriend, and you need to know how they met and how she fucks him in the ass.
It's so gay! Hello, you faggot!
Okay, I'm gonna need to like fucking skip this part because there are actual like slurs in it. How is this video still on YouTube?
He was not at all. Watching this movie,
oh my fucking god,
he gave me PTSD flashbacks of Mad Max Teen Fields Road, because both competently introduced their characters, but then proceed to tear them down. Only at least Fields Road had the decency to do it in real time. Deadpool should have been titled The Flash. Back.
What up, Max? How are you?
Here's your flashback. Thanks.
No problem.
In conclusion, origin stories aren't only about cancer, they are cancer.
Setting.
The only thing cancer here is that point. Holy shit. Anyway, they haven't noticed it yet. My ears. Anyway. I think of the It's So Boring clip whenever I'm on my computer science classes. Oh, my ears! Because YouTube moderation is terrible. Fair. I feel like I'm being. God damn it, Evil Bookman. Why are you like this? Okay.
I have a confession to make. I don't like the superhero genre. For the most part, I just don't get it. Why do only retarded cosplayers get powers or crazy abundant resources? And why don't they ever use their powers to take out the root of their problems instead of going after petty thieves all the time? Unless
Oh wow, almost like they do. Almost like this point has been used against like Batman for fucking years. Because nobody knows that he actually does donate and goes after like the people in power, like corrupt politicians and like CEOs and stuff like that. Oh, it's almost like they do that, and if you only paid attention, you would understand. Fucking like this is again, it's exactly that kind of point, right? Where people like they don't pay attention and then they blame the media instead of blaming themselves, because again, like the heroes do go to the root of their problems. It's just you just need to pay a little bit more attention and you would realize that, but whatever. Also the whole yes, literally the most powerful CEO of all time, like in the DC universe. But anyway, what was my other point? What was my fucking other points? Yeah, the whole like cosplayers thing, right? Like, why do only cosplayers get powers? It's because they have this thing called a secret identity. Like, it's not that only people who cosplay get powers, is that they gain their powers and to defend, like their normal selves from the consequences that would come from being vigilantes, they use their costumes. Sometimes there are other reasons too, like with Superman and Wonder Woman, where the costumes are more symbolic to their powers too. But like, yeah, that's why only cosplayers get superpowers. Yeah, a lot of people like just feel like they want to complain. Like it doesn't feel like a fair critique. They just want to complain. No, but like hate watching is a thing, right? But when you're hate watching like without paying attention, like are you effectively like watching at all? Like when you like miss basic stuff like this, like are you actually like even watching? Or is it fair to say that like you didn't really experience the media because you miss so much like obvious shit, you know? So I feel like that criticism is valid.
unless you're Saitama, where you literally have to find petty thieves to take down to retain your licensed hero status. But take, for instance, the case of Batman. Bruce Wayne's a billionaire playboy philanthropist in Gotham City. After witnessing the murder of his parents, he swears vengeance on evildoers, and instead of using his tremendous wealth and influence to fix Gotham City's corruption and rampant crime, he dresses up like a bat and waits on street corners to swoop down and mug the shit out of muggers. But he won't.
Yes, he tries to make things better, but the corruption is so like entrenched in Gotham that one man can like do everything, you know? He's trying to make things better by combating both petty and like major criminals. That's what Batman does. But like obviously he can't like just take out everything himself. Like he does do that. But like and it does make a difference, but like he can't just solve everything by himself. Those are deep structural problems that take more than just one millionaire to solve, especially when pretty much every other millionaire is contributing to the problem instead, you know? Like what is this point, man? Is the robber a good guy because he literally made Batman? No? What? like what? You could say that in retrospect, his actions caused like more harm, no, more good than harm. Like you can say that, but no, that doesn't literally make him like a good guy. Like the only reason he did that was just to steal from like his parents. Like he's absolutely not a good guy. Exactly because his intentions and like the consequences of what he did, like especially the intended consequences are bad. So no, like in retrospect, his actions like cause more good than harm. But no, that doesn't make him a good person.
Won't kill them, except in Batman vs. Superman, so it's okay. In reality, Bruce Wayne comes off as a violent sociopath, rich enough to beat up on other violent sociopaths with no legal repercussions. This is kinda hilarious, except every Batman adaptation I've seen plays this completely straight. Look, I'm not asking for hyper-realistic standards from comic book heroes or anything, but let's be honest, the Joker has nothing on old Brucey boy. You're just a freak. Like me. This is why, out of all the Marvel movies, I like the first Iron Man the best, because it's just about an industrialist who gets ass blasted by some Afghanis. So he builds a robot suit and blows the towel heads the fuck out. It's hilarious. Fuck that ending though. But I digress.
Do I even need to address that this is not what the movie is about? Anyway.
Here's my main issue with the superhero genre. The setting never makes sense. Why doesn't the world ever give a shit that they're constantly getting attacked by monsters and aliens and supervillains? Why don't they start mounting their own defenses? Superheroes are clearly for cleanup duty because by the time they arrive on scene, everything's a fucking mess already. So
what defenses, dude? Like, the only thing that could stand up against like the kinds of things that the superheroes face are like maybe shield, but like what are the cops or the military like gonna do about like what happens in like the Avengers? Like the fuck do you want? Like in other settings, because he's obviously going to use like One Punch Man has a plot has a point against this, right? But like in other settings, like the universe can use like more uh like active measures, right? They can like try to defend themselves better, right? But in Marvel's universe, most of the world is like composed of like real people with like realistic technology. What the fuck are they going to do against like the Ultron incident or the like alien invasion or any of those things? Like anyway, Shield is literally that. Yeah, but he wants like something more like less outside of like the common man. He wants like the military to get involved, or he wants like cities to have architecture to account for those kinds of things. But again, it's literally impossible because the kinds of things that the Marvel heroes have to deal with are so beyond like normal humanity that like they kind of have to rely on the heroes to take care of it because the military couldn't realistically do anything. But anyway, never said it was a smart question. Fair, fair. What are random people supposed to do? Oh shit, it's Thanos. Let me get UMP 45. Anyway.
So why don't these universes ever invest in preventative measures? Superheroes make people so goddamn lazy.
But I wanna die!
You're getting really nitpicky, man. I realize that, but hear me out, because I'm not asking for fully realized universes that effusively integrate superheroes and monsters. I just want a little more done than, you know, nothing at all. Now, Deadpool takes place in the Marvel universe, except not really, but since I don't read the comics, because why fucking would I? And I've barely seen any of the X-Men movies, because why fucking would I? We're gonna have to use the setting from the MCU movies for this one. Now, the Marvel universe is chock full of superpowered freaks and equivalent superpowered monstrosities and threats, and it all seemingly takes place in our world. So what differences do these things make? Well, they have this Illuminati Security Council of holographic talking heads, S.H.I.E.L.D., Stark Industries, and yes, an approximation of our current geopolitical environment. But is any of this really connected to the regular everyday people that supposedly populate the setting? That is to say,
yeah, the military is too occupied trying to kill the Hulk. That too, yeah. Holy LARPer. I bet your life, Weaver couldn't figure out how to beat Thanos. Weaver? What is Weaver? Huh? But anyway, the main point here is that like they do have measures. The superheroes are the measures against it because like the common man can't do anything. Like realistically, you get the point. Like, I'm not going to repeat myself. You get the point.
Say, is any of it really connected to the world? Not really. Except when these people are being attacked. Then all of a
Wife Leva. Oh, okay. I bet your life Leva could figure out how to beat 10. Okay. I like the X-Men movies. I rewatched the first 3 not too long ago. I watched the X-Men movies like as they came out, so like I it's been too long. I don't have an opinion on those anymore. Okay, I get your point now, Evil Bookman. But yeah, like his whole point here is that like the superheroes are disconnected from like the normal people. Like don't mind the fact that they have super like secret identities exactly so they can interact with normal people like without being seen as superheroes. But anyway, like and are only called when emergencies happen. Yes, because again, they are the force that you're talking about. Like when a emergency occurs, they call the superheroes and then they go and solve it. And there is again organizations within the world that organize the superheroes and like make measures and use them as measures against these threats. But there can't be a organization within the world like wait, but there is an organization connected to the world, but because it's not known to the world, because it's not integrated with like I guess everyday people, because it's something more like shadowy and secret, it doesn't count. I think that's his point. And like anyway. And when they try creating defenses, it becomes another big problem, be it getting controlled by Ultron or creating another Hulk. Oh wow, almost like those movies were trying to make a point. But anyway.
Sudden, S.H.I.E.L.D. and the Avengers and what have you step in and matter. They save a couple of faceless people, stop the bad guys, and then they're out of the picture again. But they don't really live among these people. They don't
Yes, they do.
Interact with them. They might as well be hanging out on the moon waiting to be called upon. We're on
Again, almost like their organization that they are at an organization that's supposed to deal with these things. When the problems like disappear, like they aren't needed. They keep themselves on call so that when they are needed again, they can be deployed. Like, and again, Shield is even an organization connected to the government. It's just that it's a secret organization. Like, because of that, it doesn't count. Whatever.
a helicarrier. The mortals worship you as a god. Man, I'm pretty. And this is kind of the point, actually. I know all of this.
Okay, that was a good joke, though. that took a chuckle out of me.
Is the core of the superhero fantasy, the desire to have God swoop down and rescue us from ourselves, from those who seek to destroy us, and to willfully discard their own lives to prop up our failing, decadent societies. The ultimate in self-sacrifice, a higher power personified, in service of the weak, of the feeble, for the sake of...
Dude should watch the Earth's Mightiest Heroes cartoon. Given his track record, I think he'd find a way to misinterpret that too. So, like, I really don't think he should do that.
Order and justice. But there's a subtly fascistic element to this too, as these gods more often than not uphold the laws of the society they are beholden to, and do so with or without the public's approval. When the public disapproves of their vigilantism, this is generally portrayed as foolishness or outright ignorance, because the hero knows what is truly best for them. And for some superhero fans, this is a self-insert fantasy, because what guy wouldn't want to kick society's dregs to the curb with insurmountable authoritarian force? That said, there is an implicit understanding that these gods are not us, no matter how relatable they're made out to be. They're either born with powers beyond the capacity of man, receive these powers but still accept the responsibility of becoming a savior, or they're filthy fucking rich. And
wow, almost like there are people who get these superpowers and they do not accept that responsibility. I.e., many, like, has this established in the comics, there are many superpowered people that don't become superheroes. And, like, even the X-Men, like a tiny minority of, like, all the mutants. Most of the mutants that, like, just go to Xavier school and live their lives normally, you know? So they do address that. Also, the reason, and the ones that aren't neutral, they become like super villains. Like, so again, the people that become superheroes are not just people with powers, they're people with powers that have reasons to become superheroes, which you would know if you had watched all of those origin movies, or those origin story movies you hate so much. And like the people who don't have reasons or who have bad reasons, they become other things. Wow, again, almost like there was a point to all those movies. Anyway.
And that's all well and good, but it makes the world building fantastically boring, since the people will just leave everything up to their gods to handle, and the gods will do it because, why not? Age of Ultron kinda
What do you mean, why
had a neat idea going, where Tony dares to suggest, hey, let's mount some actual defenses in case of another alien invasion. But then generic robot army. Winter Soldier had a similar idea with a dangerous anti-terrorist apparatus, but then Jewish super Nazis. You trying to tell me?
Again, almost like the whole point is like why within the Marvel universe they shouldn't do that. Like, the whole point is exactly like Generico Geronimo said, is to establish why they don't do the things you want them to do. Because more often than not, like they result in like bad things happen. Does this guy have a wife and kids yet? You should get him in a VC so you can argue for like 2 hours straight. I don't want you to do that. I don't want you fucking do that.
Tell me that this Jew is a Nazi? Marvel.
I'm not gonna say anything. You guys get it, right? Just whatever.
Well, what are you doing? Captain America Civil War would have been interesting if Iron Man weren't so fucking unbelievably wrong. But One Punch Man, of course, reverses this entirely. In a world where Japan is one giant supercontinent, they have fucking nationwide tryouts to become heroes. Everyday people train for the chance to be an officially recognized hero. Some everyday people are heroes. One of them is the best. There are hero classes depending on ability, from S-class, gods, to C-class, dedicated cosplayers. There are early warning alarm systems for monster threats, rankings for disaster threat levels, and fortified anti-monster shelters for people to flock to. There's a shield equivalent, creatively named the Hero Association, staffed by regular-looking people. And it's not like any of this is realistic, but
again, it's almost like the difference is that, like, in One Punch Man, the organization is public, and in the Marvel universe, it's secret. It's the same shit, and it fits, like, both their universes well, but, like, the approach is different. Wow. Almost like there's such a thing as, like, modern fantasy and urban fantasy. There's such a thing as integrating the modern world with fantastical elements, and like having fantastical elements, but in a way that's secret and keeps the like modern world relatively the same, you know? Again, it's just a misunderstanding of what kind of they're even trying to do, you know? Oh my god, bro, please talk about something other than One Punch Man. That's kind of like why would he? Like, this is a video literally comparing Deadpool and One Punch Man. Why would he talk about something other than One Punch Man? Like, this is a good criticism. It's almost like this is also a parody, and this parodying its source material. Good one too, Generico. That's also a good argument.
One Punch Man is not aiming for that. It's just parodying a bunch of cities, literally named after alphabet letters, they're so disposable, responding to constant molestation by monsters. And with sheer parody, One Punch Man is a more realized universe than anything Marvel seems to offer, with its bundle of holier-than-thou gods
and token
waiting to descend from the clouds. One Punch Man takes its world building even further by having Saitama, well, actually live in it. Saitama is outwardly...
Yes, I literally said that this video is 9 years old.
just like everybody else. He has to buy his own food at the local supermarket and keep tabs on when there are sales. Lives in an apartment in a dilapidated, monster-infested part of town because rent is cheap. And he's that weirdo bald guy that people stare at in public. The city folk don't see him as a hero or even respect him, instead going as far as to call on other heroes to deal with him like he's a deranged lunatic. He's not anything like a higher ideal. He's just a freak in a cape who happens to
Oh wow, almost like that's one of the reasons superheroes have secret identities. So they can interact with their world without that happening to them. Anyway.
routinely save everyone's asses. Deadpool is not totally dissimilar. He also lives in a cheap-ass apartment and is even seen as a pest by his blind landlady. He goes to the laundromat and he has to take taxis to get to his bad guy beatdowns. Over the span of the film, he even develops a relationship with the Indian cab driver he uses as a chauffeur. These bits are good, if a bit overwritten by a lot, but they lead me to believe that the writers had some idea of what they were doing. But it's when we go a little deeper that One Punch Man and Deadpool settings really diverge. Let's take these scenes from them respectively, where Saitama jumps in at the last minute to punch out a freak meteor, and where Deadpool attacks the convoy of cars on the bridge. Not exactly equivalent scenarios, but they're important events in both narratives. Now, when the meteor's on the approach to City Z in One Punch Man, the Heroes Association is trying to bring in whatever heroes are in the area to stop it. The early warning alarm system is going off, and people are trying to get out of the city in a panic, but in reality, City Z has been written off. The city folk have been, more or less, left to die. Genos is not content to leave these people to their fate and attempts to stop the meteor himself.
No, this is part 2 of that argument we were seeing. Like, we already watched part 1 of Deadpool versus One Punch Man, and now we're watching part 2. Like, I'm beginning to notice something too, to address a point like outside the video. I'm noticing, and like I already had a faint idea of that due to the YouTubers I watch, but like seeing it firsthand is kind of funny. Like it seems like the audience's enjoyment of a video or a stream or whatever the content is like inversely proportional to how much the content creator enjoyed making that. Because like you guys seem to be having most of you guys at least a lot of fun with this stream, like with me tearing down like these arguments, etc. But to me it's just like it's just tiring, man. uh Again, I watch a lot of challenge runners, so I do get this from like the viewer's perspective too, but it's just funny to see it now from the content creator side, you know. Anyway.
But in the end, he alone can't do anything. So when all hope is lost, Saitama shows up at the timing of any good superhero and one punches the shit out of that meteor. All's well that ends well. Except for the meteor debris which showers down the city and leaves it partly in ruins. Afterward, the public is goaded into placing the blame on and harassing Saitama for it. And all the while, this arc is used to introduce and develop several characters. Cause, effect. Cause, effect. Now, when Deadpool takes out the convoy, killing the baddies and probably a few innocents in the process, well, nothing happens. The police don't show, the army doesn't show, S.H.I.E.L.D. doesn't show, not that they legally could. Only Colossus pops up with Negasonic Teenage Warhead in tow, because he saw DP on the news while he was eating a cereal, which is kind of funny. But other than this newscast, there's no response from the setting. Deadpool's not hunted down by the authorities for being a crazy psychopath smashing up an interstate highway. He's not made into public enemy number 1.
Why would he be? The only reason he did that it was because he was trying to take out criminals, and the police knows that. Like, yeah, they could criticize him as he is criticized by like the X-Men for being reckless, but like why would the police give a shit like when they're used to heroes and what they do? Like they know that all he was doing, despite how much property damage there was trying to stop criminals. So like why would they give a shit? Why would anyway?
Even acknowledged as a criminal, or at least dangerous. Colossus just lectures him a bit, like only he, the Xavier School, and Deadpool are all that truly exist. Cause, effect? It's things like this that make or break a setting for me. The presence of Deadpool doesn't change his surroundings. He's only real in a very secluded, roped-off...
Don't his actions literally result in like news being broadcast? Like, is it just because we don't see the aftermath? Almost like the aftermath of like that incident, almost like it's not important to Deadpool's overall story, which they need to be economical with their time, at least to some extent, because this is a movie and not a TV show. Anyway, you get the point.
Off section of freaks. There's this one part where he jumps out of a garbage truck after using it as a free ride, and the driver doesn't even bat an eye. He's a dude dressed from head to toe in red, and he's got swords strapped to his back. What is he?
Why would he bat an eye? You said it yourself, there are superheroes everywhere. People have already seen that. They see that every day. Why would he bat an eye?
Your friendly neighborhood kook?
Who are you?
You know who I am.
I do.
Deadpool, Marvel anti-hero extraordinaire.
He's so ordinary in this setting that he might as well not be the costume freak he parades himself around as. Hell,
it's exactly because... whatever.
Well, even Saitama prompts mothers to drag their children away from him. Hey, you know what did the superpowered freak in a normal setting format really well? The first half of Hancock. You know what did the superpowered freak in a normal setting format very poorly? The second half of Hancock. You know what did the super...
Cock in hand. Okay, I like that joke too.
Hero infused setting extremely well?
In summary, dude has a problem with movies. I wouldn't go that far, but yeah, there's like a lot of bad critique here. And like I'll be serious here. Let me show you guys something. Okay. Like I was thinking like with my buttons like like maybe if the audience likes it enough, like I can react to some of his other videos, right? But like thinking about it, I really just don't see the point. Like it is not just because, oh wow, I'm suffering or like whatever. It's because like I haven't seen most of the things that like he has like reviewed, right? So I can't give the kind of commentary I'm giving to this video, for example, right? For example, I haven't seen The Legend of Korra, so I wouldn't be able to even tell if his criticisms are like fair or not. Uh, I haven't played like Mad Max, you know. It's my brother's favorite game, but like I haven't played it, so I can't give like commentary on it. Like I have seen Star Wars, like the first of the sequel trilogy, right? And I have seen both like Deadpool and One Punch Man, so I can like comment on this. Maybe I could react to this video. I have seen Rogue One, so maybe I could like comment on it as well. I haven't seen Blade Runner. I have seen like most of the like Star Wars stuff, so maybe I could comment on that. I unfortunately have seen like Netflix Death Note, so maybe we could watch this. Though, like I think you understand why I don't want to. Sorry, that was my alarm. So yeah, I think you guys get the point. I haven't actually seen most of the stuff he's criticizing. So while I could address like some of it, like Dispatch, for example, uh like in general, I just don't see the point in reacting to most of his videos. Again, we could do this again if you guys really want me to, but I don't see the point for the most part, you know, because I couldn't provide like the kind of commentary I am right now, and so it just doesn't feel like it be, I guess, useful or like entertaining. So yeah, I think you get the point. We can do this in the future if you guys want, but for now, I I don't see the point. Anyway, continuing with the video.
Not to fillet Japan's teeny weeny any more than I already have, but Tiger and Bunny is one of the few superhero stories I genuinely love. And that's because his world building is its bread and butter. In Tiger and Bunny, heroes are so mainstream, they're reality TV stars, and their shtick is taking out bad guys for TV ratings and points that essentially preserve their careers. Their positions in the show dictate their ability to get sponsorships by companies, even real life ones like Pepsi, Bondi, and Amazon. By the by, this is how you do product placement, folks, instead of having a character randomly bring up TGI Fridays because, haha, real world references are funny.
Wonderful TGI Fridays.
My favorite part of Tiger Bunny is that if the heroes accrue property damage, their sponsors have to pay out of pocket for it. A small detail, but it's what sold me on watching the rest of the show. This all takes place in a fictionalized version of New York City called Stern Build City. And just look at it. It's fucking cool. And better yet, the characters, in fact, live in it. You have Kotetsu Kaburagi, or Wild Tiger, a veteran superhero who's just struggling to keep his job with his fading popularity, and a sponsor company being taken over thanks to the collateral damage costs he's racked up. He's one of the older heroes amongst his peers, a romantic with old school ideas about heroism, who's being left behind by a changing, more competitive work environment, with its photo shoots and posturing and the commercialization of his childhood aspirations. But he's also a lovable, scatterbrained goofball who's trying to maintain a relationship with his younger daughter, whom he adores. And as he balances all this, he must deal with his new upstart partner at work, Barnaby Brooks, or Bunny, the quintessential young go-getter superhero, complete with a tragic backstory and everything. They're polar opposites, which makes their dynamic, the focus of the show, so entertaining to watch. It's not a perfect show, far from it, with certain plot lines that go nowhere and a lackluster ending, but it's up there, and I can't recommend it enough. See, I can be positive. I love things. I swear. One more thing. The crazy power level variability. Yes, MCU fans have to pretend that guys like the Punisher are on par with heroes like Doctor Strange, as if the former is not some vigilante asshole with a pea shooter, and the latter is not a super sorcerer who staves off extra-dimensional beings of evil. You'd think Edgemeister here would be totally irrelevant to the grand scheme of things, unless he can riddle a nigh omnipotent monster of psychic energy with bull.
Don't the Punisher stories like focus on him taking out like more realistic criminals while like Doctor Strange focus on taking again the interdimensional deities that he talked about? Heck, he's going to bring up like, oh, but what about a team of superheroes with crazy power level variability? Yes, that's why like you see, for example, like Hawkeye or uh what's her name? Black Widow, right? They generally take out the mobs, the fodder, while heroes like Thor or Iron Man or even Captain America, they generally focus on the bigger threats. Again, it's almost like they account for this in both the comics and the movies and make stories that like take this into consideration. It's not perfect. There are certainly things that you can criticize about their approach, but it's not like a thing that's doomed from from its conception, like he's saying. Also, again, the whole point with like Tiger and Bunny. Again, I would just apply like the point that I made before. There are two different shows trying to do two different things. Heck, Fisher here brings up a good point that like it's probably not fair comparing like Deadpool to One Punch Man, because although both of them are parodies of like superheroes, like they're both so different. Aside from that, they're both so different in like their objectives and what they're trying to do that it really just isn't fair a lot of the time. But yeah, continuing on.
It's like how I simply cannot take Black Widow seriously. Her power is little baby Glock.
Okay, but the hair whip scene, that was just fucking ridiculous. Like, okay, that was not good. Like, what the fuck was even that?
At least Hawkeye has fucking explosives.
I'm always picking up after you boys.
Fuck Black Widow so much. I want to hear one more sardonic little comment out of her stupid little mouth.
Did I step on your moment? Yes, you did, bitch!
So you never see them getting wrecked for being, you know, mortals in a sandbox of fucking demigods. In fact, they seem even more competent than the gods at times, as if they conceal the fact that they should be dragging everybody else down because they don't have Now, One Punch
Again, I already addressed this. Moving on.
Man has similar power level variability with its hero ranking system, where you have crazy powerful psychics like Tatsumaki in S-Class, all the way down to a guy riding his bike in C-Class. Here's the difference. What happens when Tatsumaki takes a monster head on? What happens when a certain unlicensed rider takes some bald socialists on? With Deadpool, like I said in part 1, everybody's just about equally competent in bad guy takedownery, except there's slightly more girl power at play.
I prefer not to hit a woman, so please.
There's no parody, there's no real stakes, there's just
like, but that criticism doesn't even like apply to this scene. Like the reason they are all like good, equally good at bad take downery is because they're all superheroes. Like, what was even like the point? Like, you made all this point just for it not to apply here. Like, anyway. And again, like I said, he's just wrong about this. I already addressed it. Moving on. No, you know what? Before we move on, I actually need to address some comments. Okay. All his critique is based on movies' lack of time to explain every little thing. Yeah, someone once said this before, like how he wants a lot more exposition for the movies. Like he's like the quintessential modern watcher that needs everything spoon-fed to them. Yeah, I can see how this might be boring considering how he's so consistently wrong. It's more infuriating, but anyway. Seems like he's also just not a good reviewer too. Like, I think we would need to watch one of his more recent videos to like to say that, you know? Because, for example, imagine if I like I said in my review of Red Hood's Woods, I called Toro a bad game developer because he made that game. I mean, yeah, the game is bad, but like it was the first thing he ever made. Like it's not exactly fair to like judge him now because of it. So it's more fair to say that, at least for now, he was not a good reviewer. Maybe his more recent reviews are better. But yeah, this is more or less what I think about this. He should have said the American oh, oh god, I can't address that. React to his dispatch video so we can compare his hatred out of the hero genre is still the same. I'm judging him as he is in these. You know what? Fair. Like you're judging his past self then. That's fine. I'll think about reacting to his dispatch video. Like, even if I do, I'm going to be honest with you guys. It's probably going to be like in the far future. Like, I'm not doing this again for a while. Is REACTSLOP? Pick up the phone, okay. You should play Plants vs Zombies or should stream. That could be a really good way. Also, the original version on console Steam because it's better. Do not buy the remake. It's really bad. I'll have to see about this, but I don't promise anything. Also, welcome to the stream, Fallen Angel.
Nothing interesting here.
Go ahead and try and hit me if you're able.
Moving on.
Comedy.
This one's going to be quick because this is easily one of the more subjective elements. And while subjectivity is the biggest get out of jail free card there ever was, that's another topic for another video. I assert that Deadpool is not that funny.
You only work for that shit spackled Muppet fart!
Now, don't get me wrong, those opening title credits were amusing. The character's carefree quips when he's taking out dudes are chuckle-worthy. His interactions with Colossus and Negasonic Dice's scum are gold. But his narration and the scenes where he runs his mouth on random tangents in an attempt to sound halfway clever, Deadpool loses me there. And he does.
Did you get that? That what? Like, which of his, like, rapid fire points are you talking about? Also, this is just going to be another one of these points since he addresses that he does like some of the jokes in the movie that's like, I think some guy made a good criticism. Oh, you didn't like every single joke in the movie, therefore the movie isn't funny. Like, no, like, if you like some jokes and you didn't like others, like, that's just normal. Like, I didn't like all the jokes in, like, Konosuba either, and that was still a great anime, you know? Like, it's just not a good point. Did you get that? The pick up the phone baby thing. I'd just be surprised if you did. Yeah, I did not. I have no idea what you're talking about there.
Does these a lot. See, the comedy with Deadpool is mostly that Deadpool is a comedian.
Okay, hey, ho, Hakuna is hottest.
He talks and talks and talks until something he says will prompt a laugh or at least a light chuckle, and there you have it. Funny.
I don't mind the Cunin. It's an improvement on the Herdal.
Please. It is an improvement of the Herdal. I didn't take an eminence or a treacle over the Herdal. Oh, no, I didn't get excited until I saw the Cunin.
One Punch Man goes for a slightly different angle. The comedy with Saitama is that his very presence breaks every scenario he's put in, and that he's tragically bored during all of it. I plainly think that this is cleverer by far, and that it requires more setup for more payoff. But doesn't the joke get old? It's the same thing every time, right? That Saitama's too strong? Yes, that is the joke. Every single time. And if One Punch Man hadn't played its cards right, it would have gotten real old, real fast. Luckily, Saitama makes up only a fraction of the show's runtime. Instead, One Punch Man has the cunning to not focus solely on him, but a fair bit on the surrounding cast. For instance, a lot of the internal monologuing in the show is not done by Saitama, but by Genos, or Speed of Sound Sonic, or Bang, or really just about anybody else when the show can get away with it. Even the characters that show up once and never again, who were scared shitless by threats that Saitama wouldn't even blink at, because these characters have a concrete stake in this world, so the show focuses disproportionately on them. As the show progresses and the threats escalate and become more dangerous, they are the ones most affected, not Saitama. They are the setup. Saitama is just the one punch line. One punch line?
Yes, I'm a master of comedy.
That's just my thoughts on that. You can disagree if you want, but then you'd be wrong.
What is that?
That's the shit emoji. You know, it's the turd with the smiling face and the eyes. I thought it was chocolate yogurt for so long.
So funny.
But some of the best love stories start with a murder.
I feel like I don't need to address the whole comedy point because he himself admits that despite the whole like stupid bit he does in the end, that it is a more like subjective thing, so I'm not gonna address that.
And that's exactly what this is. A love story.
It's garbage!
Here's the romance in Deadpool. Hi, I'm quirky. Hello, I am also similarly quirky like yourself. Perhaps even more so. I also fuck strangers for money. Can I get a discount? And then they bang, okay? They bang a lot. Well, this is as real depiction of a modern day relationship I've ever seen put to film, which is why it's boring. I'm being a bit facetious, but it really is boring. For one thing, I don't really know why these two are attracted to one another, aside from them both being attractive people. All they did was trade some one-liners. Romance. For another...
It's a movie, and it's not even a romance movie. Obviously, they're not going to, like, do a whole lot of, Like they're not going to dedicate like a whole lot of the runtime to like the romance. Like that would just not be a smart utilization of time by the movie. Okay. Naked man on screen. Oh, don't worry. It's all. This is a stream for adults anyway, so it doesn't matter. And it's all properly censored, so it's whatever. Oh, so that's like saying the first person who actually made their first game really good was the creator of Ultra Kill. How come you haven't finished that game? I know really bad at it, but you fell. There's also another good first game that no one talks about. It's about the original creators behind some sort of succubus sword. Go check out the first game, though you probably can't play. Why all of all the frames to pro? Okay, let's get out
She
of
pegs
this.
him in the ass. Because it was International Why Minds Day. It's funny because modern men might as well be castrated.
It's incredibly refreshing to see a female character in a superhero movie like this that is just as strong, as the guy is.
Okay, I'm pausing on this. Anyway, the reason I haven't gone back to like Ultra Kill is because I need to do like a whole training arc in order to actually get good at that game, and I just haven't had the time. Okay. Probably I can talk, because technically they made 2 games. One is a Castlevania tie-in, and the other is just called Succubus for some reason. You may have to look up those games. It's fine if you don't review, then I just want to tell you that some people, when they first time, they're making a video game. Yeah, fair. Fallen Angel has a good point there that, like, while it is a good point to say that, like, most people's first work is not going to be good. Yes, there are some people who do, some rare people who do hit it out the park, like in the first time, and it's important to acknowledge those people too.
Kind of amazing for the first time to see a character like this in a superhero movie. You can throw down with the boys.
I'm going to.
Again, I already addressed this point of Hollywood types like bragging for like shit people did years ago, so like I'm not going to get too much into that.
Pepper spray you in the face. That's what I'm going to do to you.
I got him! Just as strong as the guy is.
Remember when men were the men in relationships?
By the time I put on the strap on behind Ryan, we were fairly comfortable with each other at that point.
I so wish you were kidding.
Yeah, me fucking neither. I guess this is all supposed to be subversion of the usual romance plot in superhero films, where it takes the entire movie for the superhero to get the girl, whereas Deadpool just bangs her immediately because whores. Or well, she bangs him. Here's the romance in One Punch Man. Genos best waifu. Of these.
God, why is he so pressed about Black Widow? I don't get your point there. Anyway, generally people do make good first games. Is that very hard to look? That's kind of shocked. There's so many anti-games that are like surprisingly. I wonder who's behind those though. How much money did I get paid? Or it's like free things that they do. How do you contact these people? What's the production line? It's quite confusing. Maybe it's the best. We don't know. Yeah, fair.
These two, which do you think has a happier ending? If you chose Deadpool, unequivocally, you'd be right. Deadpool's ending is disgustingly happy and subverts nothing at all. He stops the bad guy in an admittedly humorous way, gets the girl, doesn't get his face, but luckily it's one of those you wasted everybody's time because what really mattered was inside you all along bullshit endings. In fact, his girlfriend doesn't even care about his fugly face. Yeah, right. And so he suddenly doesn't care.
Oh, there's a video about Deadpool and he's mentioned her like 10 times already. I guess she is just a good example. I'm using quotation marks here for his points. But yeah, like I could see how someone could think that like he mentions her too much.
Care either. Yeah, fucking right. Then the camera pulls back and Deadpool tells us what a happy ending it all is. Literally, he tells us.
Who doesn't love a happy ending, huh?
Contrast this with One Punch Man, where the ending has the top heroes locked in combat with a regenerating alien monster, while unbeknownst to them, Saitama faces Lord Boros, the first threat to not have gone down with a single punch. What follows is one of the most epic showdowns put to TV animation. Has Saitama finally met his match? Nah. Turns out, Saitama was holding back all along to give this guy the fight of his life, the thrill he himself so desperately craves. Boros was never a threat. He wasn't even a challenge, as Boros wretchedly realizes moments before his own demise. Saitama is just too powerful. While the show ends on a handful of hopeful and comedic notes, it's tinged with a taste of bittersweetness, because ultimately, nothing's really changed for Saitama. Probably nothing ever will. God, it's like the whole thing was subverted.
He does make a kind of good point here, but again, like, yeah, like, how do I say this? One Punch Man is more subversive in that aspect than Deadpool, but again, that doesn't make Deadpool a bad movie. And it doesn't even make, because like there's the whole thing that Muvela was saying that what was it? Like it being more subversive doesn't mean that it's like better media. So again, he kinda has a point, but not too much, honestly. I think something actually has changed though. I haven't watched One Punch Man, but isn't he networked? Doesn't he have friends now? Yeah, that is a good point. Like, yeah, in the main points, like of him, like trying to find a challenge. Yeah, he hasn't found any challenge to his level, you know. But yeah, his life is like better exactly because of the people he met along the way and like how they influence him for the better. And again, he is also in the Heroes Association, right? And he's progressing and he's actually acknowledged as a hero now. So, yeah, in a sense, like a lot of things changed. Like, even if the main points didn't, you know? So, yeah, I do think Evil Bookman has a good argument there.
You know what's really hard? Creating a fictional world that feels unique but lived in, populated with relatable but exceptional people, with fantastic problems that are somehow believable. And during all of this, persuading audiences, if only for a little while, to forget that what they're seeing isn't real. You know what's really easy? Placing characters in a box and having them point to the fourth wall and say, I was just bullshitting you this whole time. But you already knew that, didn't you? One Punch Man made me smile, made me laugh, got me pumped up and excited, and it even made me tear up. This scene right here warmed a heart I never knew I had. Deadpool gave me whiplash. In one scene, it would be throwing back the curtain to proudly display how meta and self-aware it all was, but then in the next, Wade has cancer now, and no, he's not parodying how tired and cliched such an origin story is. He's taking himself super seriously, and it's supposed to be sad and tragic and emotional, and wait, now he's killing.
Oh my god, it's almost like movies can have different scenes with different tones. Oh wow, some people can be laughing at one time and taking things seriously the next. Oh wow, who would have thought? Anyway.
Killing bad guys with reckless abandon, and oh, now he's depressed about his terminal case of Forever Alone mug. And LOL, he's moving the camera away and pointing out studio constraints. Oh no, his girl got kidnapped and now he's forgotten the audience can see how he's genuinely upset about it. Deadpool made me confused as it broke the fourth wall and then, as quickly as it happened, pretended it didn't exist. It promised me one thing.
You're probably thinking, my boyfriend said this was a superhero movie. Well, I may be super, but I am no hero.
And then unknowingly gave me the opposite.
I may be super, but I am no hero.
Are you sure about that?
It delighted in its ball jokes and colorful cursing and raunchiness and off-color glib obscenity.
Language, please!
It then asked me to care about its crude caricatures as if they were real people. Deadpool left me bitter and unsatisfied. The reason I was so floored by One Punch Man was because it
skill issue.
It took a genre that I find intrinsically lazy, and it flipped it on its head to make a fun and, above all, smart action comedy. Deadpool, however, was just a nihilistic reiteration of superhero themes and tropes, so enchanted by its own meta-insight that it forgot to provide any real depth. One Punch Man will be remembered fondly as a tongue-in-cheek love letter to a genre beloved by many, the caped baldy standing on the shoulders of giants.
Okay, the rest of this is just like an extended like ending sequence. So like we're stopping this for today. I didn't even want this to go past like the 2-hour mark. So like we're done. Wow, almost like he's from the same universe as those characters and he needs to make sense in that universe. Wow. Anyway, you get the point. My goat is washed. Like this is definitely not as good as I like originally thought it was. Like this is, what do you rate his criticism? I don't even think I need to like say that. I just been like disagreeing with pretty much everything here. Like Do I need to give a grade like 0 out of 10, minus 100 out of 10? Whatever. You get the point. I don't like it. Like, my goat is washed. Like, he really is. Just, anyway. Sorry I helped make things stressful. Glad you stuck it out. I will not grace it without rating myself. Not every idea is a winner. It's okay, OA. Yeah, again, we're going to be reacting to some more fun stuff, like, in the future. Still, I hope you at least found this mildly entertaining. So, yeah. Hopefully, like, you still like my commentary about the video, or maybe some parts of the video itself. I don't know. I just hope you like the stream. Thank you all for watching, and bye. 1 second. Yeah, I know you don't like this review and how there's so many people who just like things. It's like we're still love and generous and anything.